Welcome to the Course Creators Podcast with course design expert Jenny Rice. Whether you're an experienced creator or just starting out, this podcast helps build courses that resonate, transform, and make an impact. Each episode, we'll explore strategies and tips to help you create engaging, successful courses. Let's dive in.
Hi, this is Jenny Rice from Course Creators channel. I'm very excited today. Our very special guest is Billie Aadmi from Amplify Impact Academy. So welcome, Billie. So glad to have you here.
Thank you for having me. So excited to be here.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about yourself and your background so the learners get to understand who you are.
Yeah, so I'm from Vancouver, Canada. I'm a single mom. I've been a police officer for the last 20 years. And, when you start listening to the voice in your head and it sends you in a specific direction and you listen, you end up finding where you're actually meant to be. And so now I'm so proud that I have just launched my new academy with my training partner, Melissa Dealey, called Amplify Impact Academy, because this word amplify kept coming to me. And I know impact is a big value of mine. And it just came together. And we're so excited because now I literally get to live my passion all day, every day. And that saying that, when you do what you love, you don't work a day in your life is exactly how I feel. And so everything that has happened up leading to this, all the trials, all the tribulations, all the trauma, that triple T, all happened in order for me now to be able to do the work that I do now in such a more powerful, impactful way for my students and the people that we work with.
That's so great that you found your place where you want to give and people receive. And it's such a beautiful thing because, as you said, you're working, but it doesn't feel like you're working because you're delivering your passion, which is great. And then
this is the service. This is for me service. And I think everybody here is meant to learn what their gifts are and then to serve with those gifts and help uplift humanity before we leave.
That's great. What a great motivation for that. So tell me more about your courses you offer and what transformation your clients can receive.
Yeah, so we've been trained specifically in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, timeline therapy, which to me is one of the most powerful modalities in the world because you can heal trauma without talking about it, hypnotherapy, and then NLP results coaching. So when I was seeking, this coaching world, there were so many coaches out there. And for me, legitimacy and having a board where there was code of ethics was really important to me, not only from as a trainer, but also as a client. If I wanted to seek coaching or training, I wanted to make sure that there was some standard. And so when I found this program, this fast track NLP practitioner program, where you can get those 4 modalities and those 4 certifications in just 8 days, I was like, sign me up. I was still working full time as a police officer. I just needed to take a week off in order to get certified. And then I went straight into my master level because in the master level designation, this is the only coaching industry on the planet that can guarantee our results in writing. And for working with people, obviously people hire coaches to get results. And so if you can guarantee those results, it just puts us just a level up from everybody else in this beautiful industry. So I loved it so much that I wanted to teach people how to do it because I actually went to school to be a teacher. So I have a degree in teaching and I wanted to be able to, that whole saying where I can give you a fish so you eat for a day, or I can teach you how you fish so you can eat for life. And that was so important to me. And I love teaching. And now I figured out why I went to school to be a teacher because I didn't need that to be a cop, but I needed it for this. And I met Melissa, my training partner, during our trainers training last summer, and we instantly just fell in love with each other. And it just felt like, oh, there you are. We're supposed to do this together. And, you've experienced our course and you know how well we work together and how well we balance each other. And we just decided we were teaching so many different courses and little workshops and webinars. And we thought, how can we best set our students and our practitioners up for success? Because ultimately we want to train people to do this so they can go out in the world and impact people. And we wanted to make sure that we could create a program that set them up for success. Because there's no point in us designating a bunch of practitioners and they go out in the world, they don't know what to do, or they're not able to actually feel confident in what they do. So we actually just created our big training program. It's called Amplify Results Coaching. And it is going through everything that we teach all the way up to master practitioner. And we spread it out within 90 days. And so it's easily done and you don't have to take a lot of time off, and it just builds on itself. So as we're building our new neurology, as people are experiencing these tools and techniques themselves, because it's very experiential, our training, by the time they're done, they're rock solid and they feel confident in becoming a master level practitioner and going out in the world and making an impact.
That's so great that you take them from beginning to end. So you build that confidence as you go. And really, having gone through the course myself, and it was amazing. I loved it. And being a course design expert, I know how courses should be designed. You guys did a fabulous job, I must say, on that front too.
Thank you. And then we're building the business side of it too, because as you know, like I have no business experience. I was a police officer, so I didn't need to know that. So we're building a business portal as well, so that people that are, for example, like me, wanting to leave a job that they're no longer happy or fulfilled in, and yet they still don't know how to run a business, we want to offer that side of it too. So we're actually creating a Go Amplify Results business concierge, so that people can actually take their businesses and actually launch them and move forward.
That's great, because a lot of people that I met that want to make a difference and help people, they're not business people. And they're I just want to help people. Let me help people. So it's great that you're really supporting them from end to end. And I love what you're doing, because you're helping people transform themselves, but also teaching them so they can do it to other people, which is really,
it starts with self,
win-win.
right? We, as you know, perception is projection. So if we have some unresolved work that we needed to do, we don't want to project that onto our clients, because again, our job is to see their magnificence. And if we don't see our own, it's hard for us to see it in others. So we always start with self.
Absolutely, which is so great. So thinking about when you're putting this together and the courses you've created, what were some of the greatest challenges you faced in putting together a course, and how did you overcome them?
Well, as you know, majority of people only, maybe take in 10% of what they learn. So we do a lot of repetitive work. And what we mean by work is that we're teaching the same things over and over again with just a little bit more and just a different angle. And I know I went through all my training last year, and I redid all my training this year again from a trainer perspective, because now I'm training this. And oh my gosh, Jenny, the amount of I was like, I didn't remember learning that. And I don't remember learning that. And I looked through my book. I was like, oh yeah, I learned that. And it's just what our brain is, the capacity that we are able to actually integrate is very little. So that's why we start with the 2-hour webinar. Then we go into a 2-day workshop, and then we go into a 3-day workshop, and it builds. And then we have student check-ins every 2 weeks, so that when people have questions, because this is new work, right? A lot of people don't know what it means to work with the unconscious mind. I didn't. I had no idea what it was. I just got so fascinated because I saw how quickly that it worked. And so we have these ongoing support, so that people have connection to us. And it's not just you come for a week, learn some bunch of things, and then, what we call shelf development. We don't want you to just put it on the shelf. We actually want you to go out and actually practice it. And as you know, we've created this beautiful team-like community where now practitioners can actually learn with each other, practice with each other. And so that as you build that competence loop, the more you practice it, the more confidence you build and the more competence you get. And so we have this building up. So that's what we wanted to focus on, because we want to know that people feel confident out there, and they'll feel better practicing with their cohorts, as people that maybe they don't want to go out, because everybody feels like, oh, I don't want to mess up, right? And as you know, you can still mess up and you'll still get a result, because the unconscious mind is very smart and it knows exactly what it needs to do.
And I love that you've recognized where people need to assimilate information, and that you reinforce it a lot. I actually like the word reinforce versus repetition, because it's around, I'm reinforcing it so it does stick, right? You want to make sure it does stick. And you're right. When you're doing a lot of information over once, you're like, I like how you use the example of, oh, I did cover that, but you're having it, so you're giving them the tools to support them, not only so they have that knowledge, but the confidence to have that knowledge, which is really great. And you've got everything, all the components with a successful course in that for sure, which is wonderful. Great. So any tips before we end the podcast you have for course creators as they're going through similar things maybe you are?
I've gotten a lot of feedback myself that really the way that you explain things, I really get it. And, you're going to attract the people that you once were. And I explain things the way I get it in my head, because again, this is a new world for me. I'm not, didn't know much about, NLP or hypnotherapy. My opinion of it was like woo woo, and I didn't really understand it. So for me, I love the woo woo together with the science. And when I use analogies, it really helps people understand it in a way that is more like that lay person. So you don't have to be a neuroscientist, and you don't have to be a super spiritual person. You can be just a regular old person, and you can still be able to explain what you are teaching in a way that your message will come across. And for people to trust that however you say it is okay, because the people that need to learn it, whatever they are meant to hear, they will hear. And to just trust that the way that it comes down, because we have this innate wisdom, that how it comes out is exactly how it's meant to be given. And
That's
the
great.
message will be picked up.
And I think from my experience of you is that you almost channel the information. It's almost like you're just open and you speak, and it comes from your heart, your soul, and your higher self. And you're such a great storyteller. So, and you said
Thank
it comes
you.
from your own perspective too. So people get it then, which is really wonderful. And it's such a gift. I'm getting goosebumps because of the gift you have
Aw.
to offer. So, which is really great.
Well, as you know, the unconscious mind is like the 90% of our brain. So we have to learn to trust it more, and trust that it knows what it needs to know, and that to trust that wisdom to come out. And so it's not that, oh, Billy's smart. No, it's just, I know the wisdom is there, and I just allow it to come out, and I know that it's going to come out the way I need to. So if a lot of people, and I used to be this way, that I have to have it all here. I have to be able to understand it, especially when people are learning. And as you know, going through this course, a lot of people are like, why are we not going in order? And why is this? And why is that? And it's just our programming of how we used to learn. And we have to unlearn some things in order to relearn.
Mm-hmm.
And when you can trust that innate wisdom of yours, then that message will come through. And that's where that trust really happens, and that surrender, which is why I think, and you've heard me say this, I think these are life skills, these courses that we teach. It's not like, it's like swimming. You don't need it every day, except it'll save your life when you need it. And it's one of those things that will it'll just help you learn where you need to go and access that knowledge that is already there, that you just have to kind of uncover all this nonsense on top of it that, is put on throughout life, which is why timeline therapy is so powerful, because it clears that space and allows that wisdom to come in. And once people can do that, then it's like the answers just come. I mean, if you had, like I said, you've heard me say this so many times, like if you had told me last year that, Billy, this is what you'd be doing, I'd probably tell you to go get medical help, because something wrong with you. Because I read bad guides for a living. I don't talk about higher self and unconscious mind. And here I am. And it comes so naturally for me, because again, that wisdom was already there.
Right.
I just now have access to it.
And you were on that path doing that because you took, your teacher's certificate and things like that. So all that skill building made you ready for this and the timing of this, which is amazing. And again, what a gift you have. So thank you so much, Billy, for being on this podcast. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
So this is Jenny with Course Creators Podcast with Billie. I make sure I want to pronounce that. Aadmi, right? Did I pronounce that correctly? Aadmi.
Yep.
With Amplify Impact Academy. Thank you again for being here.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening to the Course Creators Podcast. For more insights and to connect with a community of creators, join our Course Creator channel on The Great Discovery. We offer both free and premium memberships. Check the link below. Until next time, keep creating, inspiring, and transforming lives.